So we are about to start the afternoon session. Afternoon session will be handled by Dr. Deepa P. Govindam. She's a professor, Department of Electronics and Communication, GEC, Barton Hill. She did her BTech from College of Engineering, Trivandrum, in Electronics and Communication Engineering. She did her MTech from College of Engineering, Trivandrum, in Microwave and TV Engineering, and her PhD from University of Kerala. She played many roles in the technical education. She is the principal investigator, project title Development of Malayalam Text-to-Speech Synthesis System. That is a funded project of IC4. She is a mentor of Google Summer of Code for the project Speech Recognition Using Spins. She contributed much to the development of text-to-speech synthesis. She developed linguistic rules for Malayalam. She framed rules and exceptions for the synthesis of numbers in Malayalam. She guided a project for developing GPS navigation system for visually impaired, funded by CERT. She's a member of Swadhantra Malayalam Computing. When I approached her for an FDP regarding motivation of faculty towards research, she wholeheartedly, together with Dr. Sunil Titi, developed the idea and designed the overall structure of the FDP. I express my wholehearted gratitude towards her. For the session, I invite her. Teacher?
Thank you, Shimna, for your
Shimja.
beautiful introduction. So, for the comfort of the participants, shall the language of talk be Malayalam or English?
Ma'am, you can use English. English you can use.
Okay.
Both English and Malayalam we can use. No problem.
Okay. I wish the presentation be interactive. So, whenever you have any doubt, please ask. Okay. It's like in our usual TV channel discussions, they say that മിണ്ടിയും ചോദിച്ചും പറഞ്ഞൊക്കെ പോവാം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പോലെ എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അപ്പൊ തന്നെ ചോദിക്കാം. So when we first of all before entering into that is given to me, let me say 2-3 things about research in general. Sometimes it is research is said like finding a black cat in a dark room. Remember, finding a black cat in a dark room. So it's a dark room, but we are sure there is a black cat there. So if we are very sure there is a black cat, then somehow if we consistently try again and again and again, if we are very consistent, we'll definite to get the black cat, and there will be your gate to hell. Sometimes what happens is after little bit of time we will become dejected and get out. If you get out of the room, you will not get.
ടീച്ചർ സൗണ്ട് കുറച്ചും കൂടെ ഓഡിബിൾ ആക്കോ ടീച്ചറെ, കുറച്ചും കൂടെ കൂട്ടോ.
Just a minute.
ടീച്ചർ ഹെഡ്ഫോൺ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് എടുത്ത് വെച്ചാൽ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ നല്ലതായിരിക്കും.
ഇതിന്റെ സൗണ്ട് കുറച്ച് തിരികെ. ഇപ്പൊ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഓഡിബിൾ ആണോ?
കുറച്ചും കൂടെ ഓഡിബിൾ.
Is it okay?
ഓക്കെ സർ.
Okay. So we were once അത് ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറയണം, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്.
ഓക്കെ ടീച്ചർ.
Okay.
കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്താൽ മതി ടീച്ചർ, കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്താൽ മതി.
point is we should the only thing that that you need to definitely do is continuously consistently involve in it, and definitely you will get. Okay, so then another thing that I want to tell you is see this WebEx platform, just one incident, just this WebEx platform, I am using this for the first time, and I was really confident that we can install it and use it. But when I tried in my Linux system, Ubuntu system, actually I didn't get. So I thought I just switch over to mobile. So what I am saying is many times in research we'll face problems like this. So only confidence we need to have is we can, if one thing is working, the another thing will work, and somebody will be there to help us. There will be somebody to help us. Only thing is we need to ask for help, and we need to find where we will get that help. Okay, with this note we shall come into the our topic of discussion is problem identification. So I'll just start with a story. So, the story is about a researcher who was doing research in IAC, a very young researcher. So, a research was identified, but the problem was not clearly identified. So, he will, the problem identification, I'll come into detail into that. But the problem identification, we have to definitely do with the help of your gate. So, he will go to the professor every day, and he will stand there, sometimes discuss. After that he will stand there. So the professor was every day he will do this, every day he will discuss. He was not able to find the problem. So one day the professor, every day he's coming, and the professor was a little bit irritated, and he asked, what is your problem? Okay. And he replied, that is my problem. So identify, this is a very every researcher will face this, the beginning of their research, identifying the actual problem. So now the question is, what is this particular this what we call as problem, and what is the difference between research area? Is it clear that the research area is different from the research problem? Research area means if I am doing research in for say identification of disease using MRI images, that is the area. The research problem is something more specific. So if I take my own example, when I did research when I was very young, and I was very passionate in doing research for our language Malayalam. So I was very particular in that case. I want to do research for Malayalam language because I thought my way of thinking was for doing research in Malayalam, people have to know Malayalam. So I know Malayalam. I can that's the way of my contribution to the society also. That was what I thought. And since I was at that time very enthusiastic, I went to the doctoral committee meeting. My research proposal at that time was Kerala University, not KTU. So difference between Kerala University and KTU, the first and foremost difference is that in KTU, the research work is actually a little bit more streamlined. Means there are a lot of intermittent checks and balances are there in KTU, whereas in the case of Kerala University, no such thing was there. Then KTU is technological university, and they have put a lot of effort in streamlining the process. So at that time, I went to the with the research proposal. I went to the present in the doctoral committee, and I told them I will be my aim is to do speech synthesis and speech recognition for Malayalam language. That's what I plan to do. Probably 3 to 5 years. Between 3 to 5 years, I want to do both synthesis and recognition. So it is like some Malayalam movie, we have heard that ഒരു സ്പാനർ എല്ലാം ശരിയാക്കി തരാം എന്നൊരു മട്ടിലാണ്. ഞാനിപ്പം മലയാളത്തിന്റെ സ്പീച്ചിന്റെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഞാനിപ്പോൾ അങ്ങ് തീർത്ത് റെഡിയാക്കും എൻ്റെ ഒരു ഇതോടുകൂടി എന്നുള്ള ഒരു മട്ടിലാണ് അന്നത്തെ that's how I approach the my research. So the problems in such an approach is that first of all I have misunderstood research with discoveries or invention. So we always misunderstand that doing research is we are making something new. It's not like that. Research is not making some big system, something. Research, as the word indicates, it is researching. Search, we know, we search for something, search in internet for something like that. Searching is there, and lot of searching has been done throughout the development of science and technology, and we are doing a research of that. We are searching again in that, and along in that process with our innovative approach, we are searching that, and we are investigating one single problem in that. See, we have an antenna, we have receiving signals from in many directions. People have done in many directions, but nobody has done with the antenna tilted to, say, example, a trivial example. Antenna tilted to 45 degrees. Suppose that it's like that. Then we find that when we search the already done literature, find that people have not done this. Many have done in many in other things relevant to this, but nobody had done this particular thing. So we do that. So it is all our research is part of a bigger thing. So it's like the ocean of research. If we can add a single drop, that is our contribution. So in the doctoral committee, when they discussed, I understood that it was my contribution to the whole thing of all the world of all the whole sphere of research will be a single ocean of research. If we can add a single drop, that is enough. So we cannot do all these things. I cannot do both synthesis and recognition, and in synthesis also I cannot do everything for Malayalam language. Only thing I can do is among the for the say, if we take that one particular part of that area, in that many issues might be there. Many people might have made many systems, and in that many issues might be there, and in those issues each researcher will be taking a single thing, but the most important thing is that in that single thing we should do everything related to that. So when we take a single problem, like how many of you are from different backgrounds, I suppose. So how many are from computer science background? Can anybody interact? How many, or is there anybody from computer science background?
More than 30.
More than 30 from computer science. Then other mixed.
20.
Okay. Then civil.
Civil mainly less than 10.
Okay. Then electrical.
Electrical 45.
Okay. Any other mechanical?
മെക്കാനിക്കൽ ഉണ്ട്. മെക്കാനിക്കൽ ഒരു 5 പേരുണ്ട്.
Okay. So for each area, the issues might be different in each area. So if we take a particular example of, say, we can take a computer science example. If we are testing with, say, a model like say, I think most of you might be heard of deep neural network and all. So for an example, suppose that I am doing for the speech recognition. Speech recognition means recognizing the speech, whatever is from the that those systems you might have seen in Google text, speech to text, like when you dictate something, when you speak to your computer by phone, it will be converted to text. You might have, many of you might have seen that. So in that we can generally call a speech recognition. Suppose that we are using a particular neural network for that, and that is nobody has, we have looked into the literature and found that nobody has used this particular model in speech recognition. In that case, we can do an investigation into that. This word is very important. What we are doing is an investigation. Investigation means that word is a good word because investigation, we see the word investigation in many other contexts, isn't it? Currently, a lot of investigation is going on in the political scenario. Also, a lot of investigation is going on. So, if NIA is doing an investigation, what do? They have to check everything, check every document. They have to check with every people, question every people, look into everything, go to every place, all places, and all places of suspicion. All this they will be doing an exclusive thing. They will not exclude anything. That is what is called investigation. So we are also doing an investigation into a particular problem. So we take a problem and we do investigation, which means we will have to look into every aspect of it. So once say Shimja is doing, and if Shimja is doing an investigation, then she is presenting the investigation. She will get certain results. Those results she have to interpret those results, and then that should be presented to the scientific community. So if that is presented to the scientific community, then we should do in such a fashion that there is in the present scenario, there is nothing more that can be done in this particular problem. Is it clear? We will be doing in such a fashion that if we say NIA is doing an investigation, if the investigation is fair, then if some other people also comes for a parallel investigation, nothing more will be revealed. If the investigation is good, nothing more will be revealed, because they have extensively did that. So similarly, when we investigate on a particular problem, if anybody come to all aspects of that has to be investigated. Doesn't mean that some other in the same problem some other person cannot do, but that person will be doing on some other thing, not this particular not using this particular network, or not using this particular system, like that. So and we will when we do those investigation, means like in medicine, currently a lot of investigation is going on in COVID-19 vaccine. So when they do a check with a vaccine, they do have a protocol. They will do according to that protocol. All the different sets of testing will be done according to that protocol. Similarly, for every problem in every domain, there will be a certain system of evaluation systems will be there. That differs from branch to branch, problem to problem, that differs. So we should look into the literature, and we should properly understand what all investigations are normally, what all type of evaluations are done, what all we should understand all these things, and we must do the investigation as per this we can say protocols, or as per the standard norms in a particular area. Okay, not in a particular subject, that particular area. If it is a non-invasive identification of disease using either MRI or voice or any other parameters like that, then in that particular field, we should do the most important part is the literature survey. We should do the literature survey, and we should do everything that is set in the standard norms in that to investigate into this particular problem. Okay. So again, we haven't touched into the core of problem identification. How to identify a problem. We might be, first of all, the first thing is identifying the research area. That is, before identifying the problem, we have to identify the research area. So in the morning session, it was discussed or not? How to identify a research area, how to choose a institution or something like that? Was there any discussion like that? Can anybody?
എന്താ ടീച്ചറെ?
രാവിലത്തെ സെഷനിൽ അങ്ങനെ റിസർച്ച് ഏരിയയെ പറ്റി എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡിസ്കഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നോ?
മോട്ടിവേഷൻ ആയിരുന്നു, കൂടുതലും മോട്ടിവേഷൻ ടുവേർഡ്സ് റിസർച്ച്, പിന്നെ ഡോക്ടറൽ കമ്മിറ്റി, എങ്ങനെ ഒരു കംപ്ലീറ്റ് പ്രോസസ്സിനെ കുറിച്ച് സാർ ഡിസ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്തു. സൂപ്പർവൈസേഴ്സിനെ എങ്ങനെ കാണും അതിനെയൊക്കെ കുറിച്ച്.
Okay. So generally speaking, to identify the research area, suppose that we are very passionate about a particular research area. Sometimes we will we want to do in that research area. That is the only area that we are interested in. If such a thing is there, we can go for that particular research area. Otherwise, like the earlier case I was telling my own example, I was very interested and passionate about doing research in that particular area. And in the but suppose that you are not very, it's okay with many research areas, you are not very passionate about any particular research area. Sometimes when you attend, I had some friends who attended a course on bioinformatics, and later they found that after attending the course on bioinformatics, they found that, say, it is this research area that I am very passionate. So there might be things sometimes like that. There is no problem if you don't have we are not very passionate about a particular research area. There is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we will get something very interesting problem. We will land up in very interesting problem, even if we are not very particular on a particular research area. So in that case, you might be, we'll be very particular in doing research in a particular institution. And when we talk about institution, it is always best if you could do research in some national level institutions like IISs or IITs or NITs. It's good. If otherwise, so if we are very particular and I want to do research in IIS, in that case, we have to, before getting into the research, we have to look into the, if a particular institution, we have to look into the what all research areas are those professors in that department working in. Then we'll have to choose from that. So when we are choosing a institution, it's always better to understand the different research areas of the professor and choosing one among them. Because one of the things is, when a professor is doing a research in a particular area, he or she will be very sure about what all work are being done in that area. See, if around the world, when we do work in a particular area, we are interested in, we say we are interested in one particular area, somebody in some other part of the globe might also be interested in that particular area. When a professor is continuously working in one area, he or she will know what all types of work. They might have a broad idea, but we have to search on our own. We have to do literature survey. And one advantage in the present scenario is that we could easily do literature survey by just sitting before our mobile or laptop. So we can look into all the papers in that area. Uh, so and then this is very important. Identification of the problem is very important in this sense, because sometimes if we are not extensively doing this literature review, then what happens is we'll take a problem, do with a we'll say disease identification, MRA images, and we have took one particular neural network. We did a lot of work on that, and we got result. And the time you start publishing that, you'll understand that somebody has already published, had done the same work somewhere, and they have already published the work. Sometimes it might not be published, but when one of my friends, when he actually his gate was he was interested in some other area, but this particular was very good researcher actually. He suggested another area, another problem, and the gate allowed him to start working on that. But after 6 months, he got very good results, and when he sent for publication, what happened was it was rejected. When it was rejected, it was a rather good paper, but it was rejected. Good work and good paper. So when it was rejected, he did a little bit of investigation at that time. Then he found that one of the reviewers of the paper is working on the same area. So they might have a similar result that area. So this investigation probably he could have done prior to the identifying the problem, or he could have followed what his Gates said. His Gate was a very passionate fellow, so the Gate had no problem. Some Gates will have some problem with that. So, and one of my colleagues said that, see, you should not gate the gate. You should not be the gate of the gate. That is very important. So if the important thing is, one is if you have a very particular your institution, then search for the area of your interest. If you are not very particular in an area, then you do detailed if you are when you are doing in another institution, little bit of study of your gate is also very important, because one most crucial factor in any research is a combined work of the gate and the researcher. So both gate and researcher should have a very good rapport in between. Very good rapport. It is not like a teacher-student relation in education, any other education system that we have come over till now. In this case, the he or she will be your gate for the throughout your research. It's not very easy to change the gate, and it is not very good to change. So almost very difficult. Unless your gate is going outside abroad, and themselves they change the gateship. It is not very fair practice to, and I don't think it's easy also. It's very difficult. So you both like our black cat in the dark room, you will be, both of you will be in the dark room searching for the black cat. So you have to be, it is like finding a, when you are in a mountainous terrain and you are finding the way, you have to work as a team. Only if you work as a team, you will succeed. Otherwise, like in a football, or you'll give pass to other players. So one footballer was asked, which was your greatest moment in your football life? Then he said, it was not a goal, it was a pass. It was a pass given to a fellow player. So the interviewer asked, what if the other player didn't make it a goal? The reply of the great player was, when we team up, if you have to trust your fellow. If you don't trust your fellow, your team member, it's sure that you will never succeed. Sometimes in between there might be many failures, but you will succeed only if you team up your trust your teammate. So guide and the researcher combined, you are the team for the whole journey of research. It might not be an easy journey, it is a difficult journey, but if you trust each other, if you can combinedly go anything. So this is very important. So you have to look into you need to do a little bit background study, or you can contact the other researchers. If you have such a, if possible, you can see the other researchers under his or her guidance, and look into whether can go together. And that is that is very important. Looking into yourselves also, when you find identify a research area, you have to have a introspection also. Such some areas it will be, we have, all of us have different strongholds. Sometimes we might not be very good in mathematics, but we are very strong in programming, or we are very good in documentation or doing things like that might be there. So if we are not, we are very sure that we don't enjoy doing a lot of mathematics or theoretical work, then if we have, when we have a choice, choose a subject which does not involve so much mathematics. Mathematics is definitely required for almost all area, but in certain area, maybe probability and statistics may be a little bit more required. Most of the area require probability and statistics, but it is we find that certain area we are not very strong. In that case, if you have a choice, we can do that choice. So you have to understand yourself and do that. Uh, as I have in the beginning, uh, the example, the analogous thing that I told, like finding a black cat in a dark room, there is the cat and you will find out. But with the thing is, how easy that for you to find that depends upon your area of interest and all those things. So when you choose the area of interest, these logistics, like institution is, it again depends upon person to person. So as I told you, for me, uh, area was very important, not the institution, not grade. Area was very important. But certain, for other people, some other people, institution might be important. Some other person, for everyone, grade is important. So your priority you can fix and find the research area. And again, when coming back to problem identification, in research area, say, as I said, in my case, research area, so after that, in talking the and talking to my guide, I find that my research area, I have, so from everything in speech processing for Malayalam, I came down to, so from a bigger area, I came down to speech synthesis. So speech synthesis was identified. After talking with my guide, I identified that speech synthesis is my area. Okay. So again, it is again area, not a problem. So in speech synthesis, then at the time, so I don't know what all the problems are there, what all type of problems are there in speech synthesis in Malayalam. So of course, I did a lot of reading. Then after that, at that time, I've understood that there's a lot of work going on in Madras IIT. So I went there and talked with a lot of researchers there who was doing work in similar area, like speech synthesis for Tamil, Telugu, and Hindi. So I talked with them and I found that I note down the areas in which they are working. Again, I did another thing I did was I went at that time there was a conference going on, a very good conference, national level conference going on national international conference going on in Hyderabad, Triple IT Hyderabad. Again, one of the good places for research in this area. So I went for the conference. I didn't have any paper. I didn't know anything about speech research in general and speech in particular, speech processing in particular. So, but when I went there, I I I could hear the all different research problems being investigated in this particular area. And again, in most of the conferences, before the just before the conference, there will be some tutorial session that is very useful. So I attended the tutorial session also. From the tutorial session, I got a broad picture of speech processing. And then attending the different papers, the sessions in the conference, and getting to know into the different research problems, I got a broad idea of research problem. And then with the interaction with the um, researchers in IIT Madras, I chose this particular with the help of my guide. I just started to work on one, just simple work on one area. Then we found that that is a very good area for research in. So that was it's like a bird coming from and initially we'll have a bird's eye view of the whole area. We find that okay, this terrain is good. We can, as a bird, like a bird thinking there may be this terrain looks like it is very fertile and a lot of fruits and trees are there. So we'll see only the tree tops and down. So we'll be coming down and down. Then we'll coming to a little bit smaller area. Again coming down like a bird flying down and down. Looking into all the from above, we can see the not specific general characteristic we see coming down and down. We come into one particular like a bird flying down into one particular tree for getting fruits, we'll get into one single problem. So like that, I came into one single problem. So it had a lot of discussion with my guide, and also at that time in CET we have organized some research seminar in which we'll be presenting the problem. And at the time, as I told you, in the case of Kerala University, after the first doctoral committee, there is nothing. Only after how many, after 5 years or 3 years or 4 years, and there will be open debate. That was all in that time. In the case of techno KTU, as you might know, there are a lot of doctoral committees, comprehensive viva in between, comprehensive written exam viva is in between. So it's a better streamline. Anyway, so in my case, I presented before my fellow teachers in CET electronics department. So there are a lot of criticisms where there, discussions where there. I invited my guide also for that seminar. So that seminar was was not organized by the university, but me and my guide organized such a thing, and then we discussed and finally finalized a single problem, which was uh, finding the in a language we have a see I have a particular rhythm of speaking. So when we make a synthesis system, text-to-speech system, or a reading software, that software should also have a rhythm. Otherwise, it will be very robotic. We will not understand that. So my problem was not making a particular system, but my problem was uh, finding the how in natural speech we make rhythm, and how to have mathematical models that can understand rhythm from recorded speech and impart that rhythm into synthesize. So my point is I have not as in the result of my research is not a text to speech synthesis system. The result of my research is certain mathematical models and certain methods that can be used by any researcher or any system builder to make it. Is it clear? In the research, the important thing is, not the we are not making big things, but the in most area. I'm not very sure about mechanical or civil. And even then, I think even in those cases, we might be building systems. We might be building systems to investigate our method. So in research papers, you might see there will be experimental one section on experimental setup. So we'll be making some experimental setup, and using that experimental setup, we are investigating we are proposing a statement. This can be done using this method. This way, this can be done. That is our proposal. And to check that we are making an experimental setup, we make an experiment. Sometimes we make a big system. Sometimes it might be theoretical work. Sometimes it will be, we will have a lot of experiments, and the results will interpret. Anyway, we'll be interpreting the result and say that we state that this method, using this method, we have obtained so much, the result is so much. So it doesn't mean that when you do proposing a particular methodology, it does, and you found out that using that particular methodology, the result is not very good. Even then, that is a result, because no other person need not try this particular methodology. If they can try with some other methodology, we have all the investigation on this particular methodology. But always it is better when you go for publication, better results will be better. But the point is, whatever result you get, you should honestly present. That word is very important. Honesty is very important. The whole system of science and technology is built upon that honesty. See, when we take paracetamol or a paracetamol for reducing fever, we believe in that. We believe in that researcher. We believe in a lot of researchers who has contributed. When our uh, temperature and pressure is monitored in a system, we believe that system. So this belief is very important. So be honest in every work we report. Okay. So coming back to problem identification. As I told, we have to come from a research area. We have to again and again and again, and finally we'll do a single problem in that, and in that we'll do every possible investigation into that particular thing. And so that identifying such problem is the most critical part in any research. So certain things that we need to take into account is, first and primary thing is, there might be many fascinating problems, but we cannot take it as a passion. We can do that as a private passion. We can do that. But if it is an academic research, if you want to have your end point is a PhD, then the most important thing is this particular thing should be feasible. Feasible sense, we should be able to make the experimental setup. If it is required, it should be within our limitations. We should be able to, if it requires a very very big system, we should look into, as far as experimental setup, we should look into the economic factor. And suppose that in earlier times, when we suppose it is with a very delicate sensor or something equipment, and you are importing that, and if suppose something happens to that, then it might take many months again for the same thing to be imported. So we'll have to look into all this aspect, all the critically, when you fix the problem, identify the problem, critically observe and see whether this particular thing is feasible. Like feasibility again means the time it takes. Suppose that it takes say for example, in the case of many cases, we may need a database. So listen, those who are doing it, especially in computer science, electrical, electronics and all, and even in the case of mechanical and civil, sometimes you will be using certain problems, you need a database. If that database, if suppose I wish to do a investigation into some details of COVID-19 patients, it might not be feasible for me to go into health workers might not allow me to go and take data. Whereas if it is data, if in transportation, if the collection of data is like if I can go to the railway station or a particular point and find the number of vehicles coming in and out every day, it is feasible thing. I can do that. So look into two, three things. Inside feasibility comes the different aspects of the experimental setup. Then database. If you are taking a database, check whether it is possible for you to. If it is already standard databases are there and you can download that, or you can even pay and buy, then it is okay. If there is no standard database and you are to collect data, then look very critically and see all the possible difficulties in that and see whether it is possible. Sometimes it might be possible, but it may take a lot of time for collecting data. Say if it is earthquake data or some climatic data, some real-time data, it may take years to collect that data. Don't jump into such a problem. So feasibility is very important. So critically discuss with your guide. Look into the literature how they have done. Sometimes some institutions, big institutions, there might be some work there because they have that facility. There might be the universities might have such a link with the other departments, or they already have, or they have that facility, then they can do that. But sometimes in our in say in especially in, what I have faced is for Malayalam there was no standard database available, whereas for Hindi and Tamil and Telugu databases, where I did my research in 2005 to 9. At that time there was no IIT and even in Kerala there was no other institution doing research in this field. But whereas in other places, IITs and IISc was there, Triple IT was there, so they have facility to employ people to take database, record database. But we didn't have such a facility at that time. So we have to look into the database is very critical. Identify the problem, looking into the experimental setup, database, etc. So that feasibility is very important. And it's I'm telling you not to make you afraid. Only thing it's better to be careful in choosing this. And sometimes when you start working on something, sometimes you can change the particular problem. I think in KTU also there is no much problem in changing that. But most important thing is, as you may know, sometimes in the morning also it was discussed, there will be, and the first doctoral committee will be there in the initially itself. First doctoral committee will be there. So if we could do some literature survey, and if you could work on the identifying the problem, then you could discuss that with it is not necessary to identify the problem at the initial DC, but if you can select the research area, and if you work hard before that doctoral committee, experts are coming in the doctoral committee, and they will tell, consider each of these committees. Don't consider each of these committees as some regulation from the university, or like in our BTech and MTech courses we have all those series examinations. Don't consider it as an examination. All this work, consider it as an opportunity to interact with the committee members, experts, and from them we'll get an idea, or they will critically and and be bold enough to present our, it might be sometimes it might be some blunder, but be bold enough to present that blunder, because they will correct that. Sometimes it might be innovative, our what we think as a blunder might be an innovative thought, and they will criticize, and creatively they will constructively they will criticize, and we will get a lot of things from them. But important thing is we have to prepare for it. And as for that, most important thing is we have to do an extensive literature review. So in the case of literature review, I used to tell my MTech students that they will say that when they are asked to read a research paper, they will say that, oh, I didn't understand anything. So what they say is, I didn't understand anything. So I used to say something about my son when he was when he was 4 or 5 years old. He was playing one game, and one of her friends, when she came back after 1 week, she found that the game which he didn't know anything about, he was just starting to play. After 1 week, he was very expert in playing that. He has gone through many levels. So she asked, how did you learn this? Then his reply was, ഞാൻ തോറ്റ് 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 പഠിച്ചതാണ്. So this is very important. Very important in research is be ready to fail. Well, after failing many times, we learn. So like a child, when he or she learns learns how to play a game, they don't understand. When they start playing a game, they don't understand it. But even if they understand 0.01%, they are satisfied. They will play again. They'll fail, they'll play again. Next time they will understand from 0.01, it will be 0.0. Next time it will be 0.0. Thus, after many times, they will clear the first level. And every time they are not judging their performance, they are not thinking about what others would judge about ourselves. So the judgmental attitude is not there. That is why they are able to play. They are ready to explore. So you all know the younger generation, our younger generation, they will be using this Android phone or laptop better than they know more possibilities than ours, because they are ready to explore, they are ready to play. So all the whatever we do, uh, we must, like in play, when we start reading a paper, sometimes we will not understand anything. Once you take you start a research area and you took a paper, you understood everything, then that means it's not a very a paper which is very worth reading, because we are the first time itself we understood everything. So when we take a paper, sometimes we will understand very little. Read again, then next time you'll understand a little bit more. Read again, you'll understand little. So should read and you should do an extensive research. Certain papers you will be reading 2-3 times, you will understand almost. It's not, again, it is not necessary that all the papers that you read for literature review completely understand the theory behind that, completely understand the method. Not like that. uh, there should be different level of reading. Certain things you should just browse through, and you find that is not relevant. Only relevant things you need to go deeper into that and read. So that particular 2-3 papers, or 10 papers, or 15 papers, that in early times we were told to uh, spiral it and keep it as a book for reference, because we'll be going through that sometimes 50 times, sometimes 75 times, sometimes even 100 times, going through the same thing. Certain fundamental papers will be there. We will be going through that many times. So it's good to have a compiled version of that. If you are very comfortable in your looking into laptops and all, that will be enough. But having a booklet is also very good, of relevant papers. So literature review have to have the mind of a child for doing the literature review. And then again, remember that in all the pre-comprehensive vivas, comprehensive viva, and when you prepare the research proposal, in every regulation of the university, think this is an opportunity. The university is giving us an opportunity to interact with experts. Maybe whatever doubt you have to ask, because when we ask anything, we will be benefited when they interact with us. So, when they criticize us, who is benefiting? Benefit is for us. Only if they only when they criticize, we benefit. They say that, oh, all is good, all is well, and all is good, then we are not benefiting. So if they to get criticism from them, we have to prepare. So preparation part is very important. So prepare for all those comprehensive viva, all the doctor committee meetings and all. Okay. So that is about problem identification. So be very careful in problem identification. Your guide will be definitely helping you, but the most important thing is you should don't expect the guide to do everything. Looking into the feasibility, looking into the availability, looking into all those things, you should also do your part. And as you know, like in the era of COVID, you know that unexpected things might also happen. Even if unexpected things happen, we should be able to stick on to the problem. So in the KTU, I think once you start with a problem and you have certain, you can change after the initial stages. You may be able to change to some other problem. So don't worry about that, but do as much preparation as possible. And again, one more thing, research is, it's not a, first of all of us can do research. The first and foremost thing that I want to tell you is all of you attending this seminar, all of you can do research. There is no problem in that. Only thing is our way of doing research might be different. We might be sometimes we may take more time for research, and also it depends upon our other family matters, family things, other career things. All those things are there, but every one of us can do research. Okay, so coming to the next session, research plan. I think many of the things planning the research we have mentioned along with this. Like you should look into once you register for research, you should look into the time frame that the university proposes. So according to that, you have to plan your research. Like you have the coursework. So again, coursework also, university, it's mandatory to take courses. So the course, also selection of the course, it should be, if you have some preparation, then in the pre-comprehensive meeting doctor committee, you can you can say, you can talk with your guide, and you should also work for all these things, because courses should be beneficial for you. You should select courses which are very beneficial for your research work. So according to the university criteria, you align your research plan. And uh, I think we can come to the next session, that is paper writing. So, and paper writing and skill set required. I think skill set required in general, skill set at the present research scenario, the first and foremost skill required is how to look into internet, how to find correct information from internet. Internet is full of information. How to find the correct information from internet. Then we need, as we have said, the most important thing is if we do a particular problem in an area, you should read you should either, no, even if you are not reading completely, you should have gone through all the on the previous papers. So sometimes it will be beneficial if you, when you look into internet, if you come up with if you land up in some review papers will be reviewing the previous papers. So all those papers up to the, if you are, say now it is August, if I am talking about a research problem in August 24th, I should know, I should be aware of the latest paper that is being published in this area. Like in August 23rd, if a paper is published, I should know that. There is no excuse for that. That is a mandatory requirement. And then again, in the case of research, usually we say that the process is very important. The process of doing research is very important. That is what we acquire. That is what we get through doing research. Like the literature review, looking into different papers, the patience for looking into for reading again and again, doing the same thing again and like a child playing and learning to play in a game, that patience, these are the things that we learn through the many, these are among the many things that we learn through research. So that process is very important and more important than the product is a system that we make or whatever. This process is very important, and one thing, most important thing in this process is, as I said, it is the literature. So literature review, the extensively, not word extensive, should every paper in that field we should go through means some paper we need not read, because if it is not relevant to our work, we need not read, but we can just, some paper we'll just read the abstract and the conclusion. By reading abstract and conclusion, we understand that what is their contribution, just what is the, we need not go into the theory part and all other things, method. And certain things will go a little bit more, and certain things will go more, a little bit more. Like that, we'll be reading the paper. So one skill set required is the patience to do these things is the first skill required. Second thing is how to look into internet and find the paper. In the site called scholar.google.com, scholar.google.com, the research papers will be, you'll get hold of research papers in that field. You can look into that. You can look into, generally in Google you can look, or any other method, others, apart from Google, other search engines also are there. You can look into all those things to find the papers and work going on. Then another thing is, in nowadays most of the research work, and the research work requires some sort of programming and all that also. Your have some software thing, that also is something that you need to acquire. Then another important thing is documentation. Whatever thing you are, my guide used to say that you should come with a book whenever you interact with me. Come with a book, and in my time I used to have a book. Whatever interaction going on, we'll note down that, because not only the interaction, you need a book, because sometimes nowadays it need not be a book. You can note down in your notepad, or you can note down in your laptop, or even all the interaction with the guide, you can even record that. At that time, these facilities were not there. Now you can, documentation is not a big problem. You can document properly using all the technology available. You can document this. Documentation is very important. And also, whenever you do, apart from the interactions and all the things, whenever you do a certain thing, sometimes we will land up in certain problems and we fail. But at the time, and we somehow found out the solution and we overcome the solution, and at the time we'll be very happy. But this same problem may come again, or a similar problem may come again, or actually the way we overcome that problem, we may forget after some time. So it is always good, whatever every day, whatever have you have, whether it is positive or whether it is negative, whether it is a failure or whether it is a success, whatever thing, you just note down in something, because some paper, because only if you document that, it need not be in a paper, you can note down in your notepads, in mobile, whatever handy thing that is coming. So that is documentation is very important. And then comprehending ideas are also very important. Those things you can, everything, all these things you can acquire through doing again and again and again. It's nothing. See, you may see very young kids finding something from our Android phone. How do they do? It's not that they are more intelligent than our generation, nothing like that. Only thing is they have done it many times, many times, many times, and they have. So by doing again and again, you can acquire any skill. Any skill can be acquired again and again. So that is important. And then when coming to paper writing, so uh, among many of you, some of you might be very good in generally writing. So that confidence is very good. You know, yeah, as you know, language is English. We can write only in English. All the papers in English. So knowing English is important. But don't worry if you are not very well versed in English. You can acquire that. See, my husband used to say when we uh, in the church, all of them speak. Many of them after training they speak very good English. How? It's not that way they have all studied in good English medium schools. Not that. They are should speak again and again, and of them can all of them can make speeches. So how does this they acquire this? But and again, so by reading and writing again and again. English writing is not a big thing, especially if it is creative writing or writing in a paper or writing as a journalist or writing novel or short story. It everyone may not be able to do. Definitely, some may be able to do it better. That is creative writing. Technical writing, there is nothing big in that. Only thing is, especially in technical writing, as simple English as possible, no figurative terms, and no big jargon, big words. We'll never use that. What we When we write a paper, we have done a work and we got a result. And we want to present that result. So we use simple English as possible, as simple English as possible. Like this was done using this experiment, and we got a result of this much. Very simple as we got a result of 99.6% was a result was obtained. Like that, very, very simple English. And the so we write a paper. There is, as again coming back to research again. Research is researching. We know a lot of people have done many things in that. Einstein has once said that I don't think I have done anything big. I am just standing on the shoulder of uh, the shoulder of the previous research, previous work, and I have done a little bit of this. So similarly, whenever we write a paper, we have to we have read a lot, we have done a lot of survey. We know the work going on, and we are presenting our work. So first of all, those who are reading the paper, and again, first of all, we need to give an introduction to the work, like introduction to the field, like why this is important. So what is the significance of this? The general background. See, there should be, every work should be significant. Uh, say a number of vehicles at a particular junction, in the case of transportation, research in transportation, that is a significant thing. But you just simply go and count out the leaves in a banyan tree for nothing, particularly nothing. No, it cannot be made into anything useful to humanity. Then there is no point in doing that. So every research, so that particular significance of your work, the general background you should give in 1 or 2 paragraphs in the paper. Then comes so we have the general background we have. Then we have to uh, mention all the previous works done in this field, all the previous work. So in contrast of the previous work, after reviewing the previous work, we state that even all this work have contributed so much, but there is something still to be done in this field. There is again this has to be investigated. This has to be all say in a particular case the recognition rate till now it is only 80% recognition, which means 20% error will be there. In case 80% accuracy is there, means 20% error can be there. So we have to, it is very critical to improve that. So if we are trying to do in this particular fashion, so that it will be. So that is not done by any previous work. So we are trying with this particular network, this particular system has not been, this particular method has not been experimented, investigated previously. So we are doing. So we can go on to we can present our, so towards the end of the introduction, we will be presenting our particular problem, what the problem that we have investigated in this paper. So the problem is presented, then we come to the so problem is presented. Now if any if to make the people understand about the theory, some theory, then we need to present those essential theory. Paper is not something which you'll be presenting everything, you know. No, not like that. It's like what we need to present, give to the public is our results, and results interpretation, the methodology we propose. This is what we need to, this methodology is what we put forward to the community. So to put forward the methodology, we need to place that. It's like making we need to place a small thing in a big framework. The frame are introduction method, the other things are the frame. The main thing is our result. So we need to, when we come to the other sections, in your paper, everything that is required to present this particular result should be there, nothing more. Is it clear? You need not, you know a lot of things about this particular field. Do not feed everything into the paper. Only lines that should be put in the paper is something that is required for presenting your result. So sometimes people do inside out approach. That means first of all we'll write the result part, result and interpretation part. We'll present all the figures. Whatever figures you put in your paper, that should be relevant to the discussion. We may have got some 20 figures, but it is not, all these figures are not relevant. All the figures you to check whether it is relevant, when you write, check whether you have referred to all these figures. If there is a figure which is not referred, that should not be placed in the big. That means that it is not a relevant for our discussion. Only put those figures that are relevant. So for that, different types of statistical analysis, different types of graphings are there. All those things you should look into. Sometimes using a single graph, you can compile many graphs. Many plots can be compiled using certain graphs which will place comparison. Multiple graphs can be plotted in a single graph. In that case, it is very good. your each of your figures will be very rich in information. Check that whether your figure is rich in information. Put those figures, and so you can. Sometimes it is good to start from the result. After writing the result, you can, then you can go back to the up to the introduction. Otherwise, if you feel that in your flow introduction is coming first, you can do that. That is up to you. So first writing, you need not think about anything. Let it flow. Let it let the let the things in your mind flow into the paper. After the first writing, you can edit. Whenever even after many edits, you will get a paper in which if you remove one single line, it will not be complete. Come to up to that point. So sometimes in one of our professors in CET, he used to sometimes he used to correct certain paper. He used to correct 101 times. His student will count this even while going to see him. He said that this is 102nd version. So I just said that is the amount of work some people do. It's not that always we need to do 100 edits, maybe, but usually for every paper you will be there will be more than 10 edits. The version control and all those things. I think tomorrow it will be covered. So the thing is, first of all, you can, and also there you will be very doubtful about your language. Don't worry, write, show someone who are close. If you are very who is not very uh, before showing your gate, if you are very doubtful of your language, you can show someone very near to you. Just ask them to read and tell you what they understood. Need not be a person who is technically who knows technology very much. Even then, they will understand something. So my guide used to tell that whenever we write, we should be of the mind that this should be understood by the. So sometimes we will not write it because we will think that, oh, this everyone understands. Don't block ourselves like that. In the first writing, write like we are telling to our grandfather or grandmother, like that first writing. Then you can edit again and again, and certain loose sentences you can remove loose sentences in the sense, even if that is not there, thing could be understood. Such things can be edited and removed. And also there should be a flow in the writing from one point to the other. There should be that will learn after writing many times, that you will learn. And uh, so um, so from the so once after so the loose sentence I mean is that if you every statement in the initial part, it will be in the introduction, and in the literature survey you'll have the references. You'll everything that you state, either every sentence in your paper, either it should be in general sentences you can write on your own, the first sentence or second sentence, etc., you can write on your own. Other facts, either it should be referred from some literature, or it should be the result of your work. You should not just put a statement like a political statement people do these times. Not like that. But if you say that, say MRI images are used in diabetic retinopathy, it should be either referred from somewhere, or you have done that and you found that in diabetic retinopathy MRI images can be used. Like that, you have, when after your results part, everything that you write will be your own, based on discussion, based on your own work. That will be your own sentences based on your own work. In the introduction, most of the things will be referred from somewhere. So reference is very important, because the idea of reference is, if you need not all the points that is in that paper, you need not put in your paper, you can refer. you will be stating one sentence and you put the reference. Then anybody who is interested can go to that work and know more on that. So that is the importance of referencing. And in the methodology part, sometimes there will be some reference, but your methodology will be proposed by you. So that part, there will not be much reference. After result part, there should not be any reference at all. Mostly it will be your interpretation, your. And when in evaluation part, sometimes you will say that this is in comparison with the previous work, you have to place your work. So there, but previous work you have referred earlier. So compared to that previous work, you have to place your work. Then comes the conclusion. In the concluding part, you are concluding the paper, not concluding the work, concluding the paper. So you have done so many things, and there are future possibilities also you can say. But remember that when you state the future possibilities, the reviewer should not feel that, oh, yes, so a lot of things more have to be done. So go do that and come back. So be careful in proposing the future possibilities. When you propose the future possibility, it should be like that. I have done all these things regarding this, and this is complete. This result is very good, and it points that another thing. It's another problem. So the reviewer has to feel that this is another problem. So even if you are not writing any future possibilities, there is nothing wrong. Be careful in writing the future possibility. So this is a general brief on paper writing. Paper writing itself is a big topic of discussion. Maybe after once you start doing, you can you'll be more exploring more and more into this. And remember that paper writing, the first thing, as I have said, we'll be writing times, we'll be editing many times, and after some time, there will be a point in which we know everything in our brain, and we will not be possible to edit at all, because the everything even if there is an error, even if there is an omission, we'll not understand. We'll reach such a point, stop there, ask somebody to read, some other person to read. Another possibility is take a break. Take a break from that. After 1 week or after 10 days, if we come back to the same paper, we'll be reading afresh. My guide used to say, read from, because after doing it many times, the complete flow is in our mind. So even if omissions, we will not understand. Like in another example from outside, in our wedding card, it was screen printed, and it was written പരേതനായ ദേവസ്യയുടെ മകൻ കുര്യച്ചൻ, and that particular line was missed in the first draft print. And so it was like Paredanaya Kuryachan. And I was looking into that. I didn't find any problem. My father looked into it, no problem. My mother, everybody, we all looked into, oh, okay, it's very good, very nicely screen printed, very good paper. We were very happy with that. But one of my cousins who was an English professor, he came and, what is this written? Paredanaya, the Varan is Paredan. So we just missed, because we know this, we know all these names, we are very familiar with this, and we just forgot. So things like this happen. We will not be able to understand the errors or lack in flow. So it's good. Either one way is to break the flow, read from the last to first. You can read a reverse reading. Sometimes in certain sentences the problem will pop out. Another thing is, take a break and read afresh. Then also we'll be reading again. Sometimes you'll feel ഇത് നമ്മൾ തന്നെയാണോ എഴുതിയെന്ന് വരെ തോന്നും ചിലപ്പോൾ. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ourselves will be able to correct. So the main point is, do again and again, and believe me, every one of you can write a good paper. Only thing is, you may need a little bit of training. So be ready to take, first of all, be ready to take any criticism. For that, present yourselves before others, as many opportunities that you get. You can be in, as I have mentioned earlier, in CET, the electronics department, it was an informal group. A research forum was there where we only the faculty friends were there. We used to present this just to get criticism from our fellow teachers. So that way you can work as teams and get criticism from your friends. They will also benefit, we will also benefit. That way we can do. So I think my time is almost over. So all the very best for your research and any interaction. I am ready to open the floor for interaction. Seeing the name of Agoma Martin Berli. Agoma, question ഉണ്ടോ ചോദിക്കാൻ? ഷിംജ, ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ അവിടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നോ അതോ
ഓഹോ
പോയോ എല്ലാരും?
ഉണ്ട് കുറെ പേരുണ്ട്.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
മാമിന്റെ ഒരു വ്യൂവില് നമ്മൾക്ക് ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു ടൈം ഫ്രെയിം നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഒരു റെഗുലർ PhD ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ 3 to 5 years എടുക്കുമല്ലോ. അപ്പൊ അതില് നമ്മൾക്ക് വരുന്ന ഒരു ടൈം ഫ്രെയിം എങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കണം എന്നൊന്ന് പറയാമോ? അതായത് ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ, പ്രോബ്ലം ഐഡന്റിഫിക്കേഷൻ, അതൊക്കെ ഇത്ര ടൈം, പേപ്പർ റൈറ്റിംഗ്.
അല്ല, പേപ്പർ റൈറ്റിംഗിന്റെ നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ നമുക്കൊരു റിസൾട്ട് കിട്ടിയിട്ടാണല്ലോ നമ്മള് പേപ്പർ റൈറ്റിംഗ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ആദ്യത്തെ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ സർവേ ആദ്യമേ നമ്മൾ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ഏകദേശം ഒരു ആ ഒരു ഏരിയ ഗൈഡുമായിട്ട് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്ത ഏരിയ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാല് ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ആണ് ആദ്യം തൊട്ടേ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. അത് നമുക്ക് എത്രത്തോളം പറ്റുമോ അത്രത്തോളം ചെയ്യാം. എന്നാൽ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ പ്രോബ്ലത്തിലേക്കൊക്കെ പോകുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് ആദ്യത്തെ DC മുമ്പേ തന്നെ നന്നായിട്ട് ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ, എനിക്ക് ആദ്യത്തെ DC ഒരു 2-3 monthsനകത്ത് തന്നെ വരുമല്ലോ. ഫസ്റ്റ് DC ഉടനെ വെക്കണമല്ലോ. അപ്പൊ തന്നെ ആ സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ കുറച്ച് ഹാർഡായിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. ആ സമയത്ത് ഹാർഡ് നിങ്ങൾക്കിപ്പോ എൻ്റെ ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് MBA പഠിക്കുന്ന സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് ഇപ്പൊ അവിടെ വീട്ടിലുണ്ട്. വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അയാളൊരു ലിറ്ററലി 4-5 മണിക്കൂർ ഉറങ്ങുന്നുള്ളൂ. കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. അതാണ് ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക്. ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് എന്താണെന്ന് ഞാൻ കണ്ടത് അപ്പോഴാണ്. മുഴുവൻ ഓടിയാണ് നടക്കുന്നത്. പതുക്കെ നടക്കാറില്ല, ഓടി നടന്ന് ഫുൾ ടൈം. നമ്മളിപ്പോ സംസാരിക്കാറ് പോലും ഇല്ല പുള്ളിയുടെ, എന്നാൽ അത്രയും സമയമില്ല. അപ്പൊ അവിടെ MBAയുടെ കോഴ്സിന്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് അവർക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ആ ഒരു മോഡ് വർക്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യത്തെ കുറച്ച് നാള് ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്താൽ പിന്നീടുള്ള നമ്മുടെ പാത്ത് ഭയങ്കര എളുപ്പമാണ്. ഇപ്പൊ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ പിന്നെ ചെയ്തു ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ തീരത്തേ ഇല്ല. ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു ഘട്ടം നമ്മൾ ആദ്യത്തെ DC പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്യും. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് കുറെ എക്സ്പെർട്സ് പറയും ഇത് വായിക്കാൻ പറയാം, അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ പറയുമായിരിക്കും. പിന്നെ എഗെയിൻ ആൻഡ് എഗെയിൻ നമ്മുടെ ടുവേർഡ്സ് എൻഡ് വരെ ചിലപ്പോൾ നമ്മള് ഓരോ പേപ്പർ എഴുതുമ്പോൾ എഗെയിൻ നമ്മൾ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്യും. കാര്യം ഒരു പേപ്പർ നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഒരു ഏരിയയെ പറ്റിയാണ് അതിൽ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്തത്. അപ്പൊ ആ ഏരിയയിൽ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതിന് നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഒരു ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഡീപ് ന്യൂറൽ നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് ഒക്കെ നിങ്ങൾ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അത് ചെയ്യുവാണെങ്കിൽ അതിന് ചെയ്യണ്ടേ, അല്ലെ HMM ചെയ്യുന്നു അതിൽ ചെയ്യണ്ടേ. അപ്പൊ ഓരോ പേപ്പർ എഴുതുമ്പോഴും വീണ്ടും ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്യും. ത്രൂ ഔട്ട് ദ തീസിസ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കുന്ന അന്ന് വരെ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്യും. പിന്നെ വൈവയ്ക്ക് മുമ്പ് വീണ്ടും ചിലപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് ദിവസം കുറെ നാൾ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടായിരിക്കും വൈവ, അപ്പഴും ചെയ്യും. അപ്പൊ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂ ത്രൂ ഔട്ട് ഉള്ളതാണ്. വളരെ ക്രിട്ടിക്കൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള പാർട്ടും അതാണ്. പിന്നെ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി തന്നെ ഒരു ബ്രോഡ് ഫ്രെയിം വർക്ക് തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഒരു പിന്നെ കോംപ്രിഹെൻസീവ് എക്സാം ഒരു 3 monthsന് ബെറ്റർ 3 months ഒക്കെ ആകുമ്പോൾ അപ്പൊ ഏതാണ്ട് അതിനേക്കാൾ മുമ്പ് നമ്മൾ ഇതെല്ലാം ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കുക. റിസർച്ച് പ്രപ്പോസല് 2 yearsന് ആ ഒരു സമയമൊക്കെയാണ് പറയുന്നത്. എപ്പോഴും തന്നെ അതിന് മുമ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കുക. അത് ലാസ്റ്റ് വേഴ്സ്റ്റ് കേസ് ആയിട്ട് അതിനെ കാണുക. അങ്ങനെ നമ്മൾ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഫ്രെയിം തന്നിട്ടുള്ളത് വളരെ നല്ലതാണ്. ഈ ഫസ്റ്റ് സെമിനാർ ഉണ്ട്, സെക്കൻഡ് സെമിനാർ ഉണ്ട്, തന്നിട്ടുള്ളത് നല്ലതാണ്. ആ ഫ്രെയിം വർക്ക് വെച്ചിട്ട് നമ്മൾ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പൊ ഇനിഷ്യൽ പാർട്ടില് നല്ലൊരു ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് എസെൻഷ്യൽ ആണ്. നമുക്കൊക്കെ നിങ്ങളെല്ലാം ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളതിന് പല ഭാഗത്തു നിന്നുള്ള ഫുൾ ടൈമറാണ്, പിന്നെ വേറെ ഇത് വരുന്നില്ല അല്ലെ. പക്ഷെ അപ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് അല്ലാതെ നമ്മുടെ ബാക്കിയുള്ള നമ്മള് ചെറിയ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആയിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഉള്ള പോലെ അല്ല. ഫാമിലി പ്രഷേഴ്സ് കാണും, പല പല കാര്യങ്ങൾ കാണും. പക്ഷെ അതില് മോസ്റ്റ് പ്രയോറിറ്റി ഇതിന് ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്യാതെ നമുക്ക് ഒരു സാധനമേ ഇല്ല. ഇതിന്റെ ഗൈഡ് പറയായിരുന്നു ഈ പാർട്ട് ടൈം റിസർച്ച് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സംഭവം ഇല്ലാന്ന് സാർ പറയും. സാർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മള് പ്രണയിക്കുമ്പോ നമ്മൾ പറയില്ലല്ലോ പാർട്ട് ടൈം പ്രണയം ഉണ്ടെന്ന് ആരും പറയില്ലല്ലോ. നമ്മള് പ്രണയിക്കുമ്പോ ഫുൾ ടൈം പ്രണയത്തിലായിരിക്കുമല്ലോ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് റിസർച്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഫുൾ ടൈം റിസർച്ചിലേക്ക് എത്തണം. അത് എത്തും, റിസർച്ചിലേക്ക് എത്തും എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് ഇനിഷ്യൽ പാർട്ടിലുള്ള ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് വളരെ വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ആണ്. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ വേണ്ടെന്നല്ല, ഇനിഷ്യൽ പാർട്ടിൽ പക്ഷേ എക്സ്ട്രാ ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. കാരണം അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്ത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡ് മാത്രമല്ല സബ് കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യും. സബ് കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴാണ് നമുക്ക് ഈ സൊല്യൂഷൻസ് പലപ്പോഴും കിട്ടുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ അറിയത്തില്ല, നമ്മൾ ഉറങ്ങുമ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ ടി വി കാണുമ്പോഴും ഭക്ഷണം കഴിക്കുമ്പോഴും ഒക്കെ ഇതിങ്ങനെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കും. നമ്മുടെ പിന്നെ ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞില്ല പ്രണയത്തിന്റെ കാര്യം, ഈ സബ് കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡിൽ ഇതിങ്ങനെ കിടക്കും. എപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ റിസർച്ചറാണ്, കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ഫുൾ ടൈം റിസർച്ചറാണ്. നമ്മൾ വേറെ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടാവും, നമ്മൾ പാരന്റ്സിന് വേണ്ടി ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, മക്കൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി ചെയ്യുന്ന, അല്ലെ വേറെ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഫ്രണ്ട്സിന് വേണ്ടി, ഫ്രണ്ട്സിന്റെ കല്യാണത്തിന് പോകുമ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിൽ ഇതിങ്ങനെ സബ് കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡിൽ എത്തണമെങ്കിൽ കുറെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്താലേ എത്തുള്ളൂ, ആ വെറുതെ എത്തത്തില്ല. അപ്പൊ ഈ പാർട്ട് ടൈം ചെയ്യുന്നവരോടും പറയാം കുറച്ച് ദിവസം ലീവ് എടുക്കാൻ പറയുന്ന അതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. ലീവ് എടുത്ത് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് അതിൽ തന്നെ നിൽക്കുമ്പോൾ സബ് കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡിലേക്ക് ഇത് എത്തും, അത് എത്തിക്കണം. അപ്പൊ അതങ്ങനെ എത്തിക്കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മള് വളരെ രസകരമായൊരു സാധനം ഉള്ളത് എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ചിലത് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവത്തില്ല, നോക്കുമ്പോഴേ വായിച്ചിട്ട് മനസ്സിലായേ ഇല്ല, അങ്ങ് വിട്ട് കളഞ്ഞിട്ട് ചിലപ്പോ ഒരു 2 ദിവസം കഴിഞ്ഞ് സാധനം ചുമ്മാ അങ്ങ് മനസ്സിലാവും. ചിലപ്പോ അടുത്ത ദിവസം തന്നെ ചുമ്മാ മനസ്സിലാവും. സബ് കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡ് ഇങ്ങനെ ആക്ട് ചെയ്യാണ്, നമ്മൾ മറ്റു പലതും ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇത് ആക്ട് ചെയ്ത് അന്നേരം നമ്മൾ ഇതിന്റെ അന്നേരം മനസ്സിലായത് ഇത്രയും സിമ്പിൾ ആയിരുന്നോ എന്ന് തോന്നും. അത് അന്നേരം മനസ്സിലാകത്തില്ല, വിട്ടുകളയുക തന്നെയാണ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ നമ്മളുടെ ഇതിലേക്ക് കയറ്റുക, സബ് കോൺഷ്യസ് മൈൻഡിലേക്ക് കയറ്റുന്നവരെ നമ്മൾ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു ബ്രോഡായിട്ട് പറയാനുള്ളത്.
അതുപോലെ മിസ്സേ നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് അതിന്റെ ഒരു മുക്കാൽ പോർഷൻ ഒക്കെ ചിലപ്പോ ഇങ്ങനെ എത്തിക്കൊണ്ടൊക്കെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പം ഇപ്പൊ വേറൊരാൾ ചിലപ്പോ അത് പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിലൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ വരുമോ? അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾക്ക് പിന്നെ ഉടനെ ഒരു ചേഞ്ച് ഒക്കെ
അല്ല ചിലപ്പോ അങ്ങനെ നമ്മള് ഇതിൽ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ചിലപ്പോ ഡൈവേർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തിട്ടും. പക്ഷെ ചിലപ്പോ അതില് പോസിബിലിറ്റി ഇല്ലാത്തൊരു സമയവും വരാം. അപ്പൊ അതിനാണ് ഇനിഷ്യലി നമ്മള് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒരു സൗകര്യം എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മള് പ്രോബ്ലം ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് നമ്മൾ പേപ്പർ വായിക്കുമല്ലോ, റിസർച്ച് പേപ്പർ വായിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ കുറെ പേപ്പർ വായിക്കുമ്പോൾ സെയിം ഓതേഴ്സ് കാണുന്നുണ്ടെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുക. എന്റെയൊക്കെ പിള്ളേർ വാൻ സാൻഡൻ മിക്കവാറും പേപ്പറിൽ വാൻ സാൻഡൻ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം വാൻ സാൻഡൻ കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് ഇതിൽ തന്നെ റിസർച്ച് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. വേഗം പോയി വാൻ സാൻഡന്റെ ഇതിൽ നോക്കുക, അവരുടെ സൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ടാവും. അപ്പൊ മിക്കവാറും യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റീസിൽ അവരുടെ സൈറ്റും അവര് ചെയ്യുന്ന റിസർച്ച് വർക്ക് എല്ലാം ഇട്ടേക്കും. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് അറിയാൻ പറ്റും ആ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പൊ ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ റിവ്യൂവിന്റെ കൂടെ തന്നെ പറ്റുമെങ്കിൽ എല്ലാ അതിലെ ഓതേഴ്സിന്റെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടതെന്ന് തോന്നുന്ന ഓതേഴ്സിന്റെ എങ്കിലും സൈറ്റിൽ പോയി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ വർക്ക് നടക്കുന്ന സ്റ്റാൻഫോർഡിലാണോ ഓക്സ്ഫോർഡിലാണോ എവിടെയാണ് കൂടുതൽ നടക്കുന്നത് അവിടുത്തെ റിസർച്ചേഴ്സിന്റെ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് എന്തൊക്കെയാണെന്ന് ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്താൽ നമുക്ക് ഇത് ഒഴിവാക്കാൻ പറ്റും, കുറെ ഒരു പരിധി വരെ ഒഴിവാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. എന്നിട്ട് അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ നോക്കിയിട്ട് അവസാനം നമ്മൾ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യാൻ വരുമ്പോ അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ചിലപ്പോ അതിന്റെ അടുത്തൊരു ഘട്ടമൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും.
അതുപോലെ നമ്മളിപ്പോ കുറെ ഗൂഗിൾ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴേ ഒരുപാട് ഇങ്ങനെ സൈറ്റേഷൻസ് ഒക്കെ കീപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ, അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ സൈറ്റേഷൻസ് കീപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ടൂളോ അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ?
അത് സുനിൽ സാറ് നാളെ എടുക്കുമ്പോ അത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ സാറ് പറഞ്ഞു തരും. ആ ടൂൾസും ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, അതിനുള്ള ഇതെല്ലാം ഉണ്ട്.
താങ്ക് യു.
ഹലോ മാം, എനിക്ക് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത്, നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ പേപ്പർ ഒരു പബ്ലിഷറിന് അയച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഏകദേശം എത്ര സമയം എടുക്കുമായിരിക്കും അത് പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യാൻ, റിവ്യൂ ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്?
ഓക്കെ, അത് ഭയങ്കര വേരിയബിലിറ്റി ഉള്ളതാണ്. ചിലപ്പോ ഒക്കെ 1 വർഷം എടുക്കാം, ചിലപ്പോ അതിനേക്കാൾ കൂടുതൽ എടുക്കാം. ടിപ്പിക്കലി ഒരു 2-3 മാസമെങ്കിലും അവര് ഫസ്റ്റ് റിവ്യൂവിന് വേണ്ടി എടുക്കും. ഫസ്റ്റ് റിവ്യൂ കഴിഞ്ഞ് ചിലപ്പോൾ റിവിഷൻ പറയും. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ റിവൈസ് ചെയ്ത് എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഫുൾ റിവ്യൂവിന് പോകാം വീണ്ടും. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ 1 വർഷം 1.5 വർഷം എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത്. എന്നാൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് റിവ്യൂ അത് ഇവര് എഡിറ്റർ നോക്കിയിട്ട് റിവ്യൂവറിന് കൊടുത്തു കഴിയുമ്പോൾ റിവ്യൂവേഴ്സ് എടുക്കുന്നൊരു സമയമുണ്ട്. ചിലർ പെട്ടെന്ന് റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്യുവാണെങ്കിൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ 1 മാസത്തിനകം റിവ്യൂ വന്നെന്നില്ല. അപ്പം കുറച്ചൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് അവരുടെ ആ പേപ്പറിന്റെ ഇത് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ, അവരുടെ സൈറ്റിൽ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് അവർ ഇത് പറയും, ഒരു ആവറേജ് ടൈം ഒക്കെ പറയും. അങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ക്വിക്ക് റിവ്യൂ വരുന്ന ജേർണൽസ് ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് നോക്കാൻ പറ്റും. ചിലത് നമ്മളെ അവരങ്ങനെ ആവറേജ് അവർ പറയുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ ആവറേജ് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഉള്ള പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ അപ്പം തന്നെ റിജക്ട് ചെയ്തതിനൊക്കെ അവർ കൂട്ടിയിട്ടായിരിക്കും പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അത് നമുക്ക് അതിൽ നിന്ന് അങ്ങനെ കിട്ടണമെന്നില്ല. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാല് ഈ ഏതെങ്കിലും ആ ജേർണലിലുള്ള ഏതെങ്കിലും പേപ്പർ തുറന്നു നോക്കുക. പിന്നെ അപ്പൊ അതിലിങ്ങനെ എഴുതി റിസീവ്ഡ് ഇന്ന സമയം, ഫസ്റ്റ് റിവിഷൻ ഇന്ന ഡേറ്റ്, പബ്ലിഷ്ഡ്. അപ്പൊ അതിൽ നിന്ന് നമുക്ക് ഈ ജേർണലിന്റെ ഒരു സ്പീഡ് ഏകദേശം അറിയാൻ പറ്റും. എങ്കിലും മിക്കവാറും ഒരു 3 to 3 മാസം എങ്കിലും മിനിമം ഒക്കെ എടുക്കാറുണ്ട്. ചിലപ്പോ 2 മാസത്തിൽ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്താലും മതി. കുറേ സമയം എടുക്കാം. ചില ജേർണൽസ് ഒക്കെ 1 വർഷം അതിൽ കൂടുതലൊക്കെ എടുക്കാം. അത് നമുക്ക് ചെക്ക് നോക്കാൻ പറ്റും.
താങ്ക് യു മാം.
So for feedback and vote of thanks, I welcome Manjushi teacher, HOD Computer Engineering, Purapura.
Session Dr. Deepa Gupta. The session discussing the problem identification. Discuss. കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞത് സീരിയസ് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് PhD എടുക്കാൻ താല്പര്യപ്പെടുന്നവര് ഇതിനെ കുറിച്ച് കൂടുതൽ ഈ ടോപ്പിക്സ് മനസ്സിലാക്കി വീണ്ടും അവരെ പഠിക്കാൻ കൂടുതൽ എക്സ്പ്ലോർ ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കും എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. റിസർച്ച് പ്ലാനിനെ കുറിച്ചും ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തു. റിസർച്ചേഴ്സ് പേപ്പർ റൈറ്റിങ്ങിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ് ഒരു സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ഫർദർ കുറിച്ചും കൂടുതൽ ഡീറ്റെയിൽഡ് ആയിട്ട് വരുന്ന സെഷൻ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യും. നമ്മുടെ ടീച്ചേഴ്സിന് ഇനിയുള്ള അതായത് പോളിടെക്നിക് ടീച്ചേഴ്സിന് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജില് വിദഗ്ധരുമായിട്ട് സംവദിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു അവസരം. അതൊരു പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം. ഈ ഓൺലൈൻ ക്ലാസ്സസ് ഇനിയും ഇതുപോലുള്ള സെഷൻസ് സിദ്ധറിന്റെ ക്ലാസ് വളരെ ഉപയോഗപ്രദമാണ്.
So, thank you, ma'am.
For the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. അപ്പോൾ നാളെ നമ്മുടെ ഉച്ചയ്ക്കത്തെ സെഷൻ 2 to 3:30 നമ്മുടെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഷെയറിംഗ് ആയിരുന്നു. പല ബ്രാഞ്ചിലുള്ള സാർ ഉണ്ടാവും. പക്ഷെ അപ്പം നമുക്ക് സിവിലിൽ നിന്ന് ഡോക്ടർ ജയമോഹൻ സാറാണ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. സാറ് LBS കോളേജിലെ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് ഓഫ് സിവിൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിലെ HOD ആണ്. സാറിന് നാളെ സാറിൻ്റെ കോളേജിൽ കോൺഫറൻസ് നടക്കുന്നത് കാരണം സാർ ഇന്നൊരു 15 മിനിറ്റ്സ് സാറിൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു ഏരിയ ഒന്ന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ, കാരണം സിവിലുള്ള ആൾക്കാരും ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, അപ്പം അവരുടെ ഒരു ഏരിയ ഒന്ന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പം എല്ലാവരും സാറിൻ്റെ ക്ലാസ് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു 15 മിനിറ്റ്സേ ഉള്ളൂ, ഒന്ന് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടേ ലോഗൗട്ട് ചെയ്യാവും. ഓക്കെ. സാറിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ he was a professor and head Department of Civil Engineering, LBS. He did his BTech from Mangalore University. He did MTech from NIT Surathkal. He did his PhD from NIT Surathkal, and he has eminent work experience for construction field. He has 4 years for teaching, 22 years, and research 9 years. And he has got wonderful publications in international journals. That is 7 international conference, 25 national conference. And his area of research is reinforced soil, foundation engineering and all. And in spite of his busy schedule, he has taken much interest to come over here and give a 50-minute presentation before this meeting. So I am very thankful for him. I welcome you, sir.